The stars are right, and that means it's time for another episode of The Whisper in Darkness. I'm your host, the Manfromleng. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm throwing caution to the wind tonight, and I'm giving streaming a try for the first time. I have a Lola Hayes deck that I want to test, and I figured that since I was going to play it, I might as well play it live, and we will see how it goes. And I am looking forward to bringing it to you. So let's take a quick look at the deck here. First of all, this is similar to the Lola Hayes deck that I played in the playthrough recently. We have Lola Hayes, of course. The main change I made was to swap around some of the Guardian cards in it. I took out the If It Bleeds and the Emergency Aid in order to add evidence, because I wanted the two intellect icons, and I also added a couple copies of Taunt because I was having trouble engaging the man in the pallid mask, and I wanted to see if Taunt would help me. Considering this is a Dark Horse deck, I also took out the two copies of Emergency Cash. I just wasn't playing it, and we're going to see how this deck goes. And we're also going to break new ground tonight in that we are playing in hard mode. So this will be extremely interesting. Last night I gave, what's her name, Safina, a test out in expert just to see how bad it could get, and it was pretty bad. She didn't live very long, unfortunately. The problem is with that chaos bag, with having so many high negative numbers in it, you just get you fail a couple tests and then it just snowballs from there. And so yeah, we're gonna give Lola Hayes a test in hard mode here. I haven't got my color swatches on this system yet, so I'm gonna have to remember Lola Hayes as her role the hard way. Just have to keep it in mind. We're set up here on Octagon. We've got Lola Hayes here at the backstage. It's the Three Shroud location with one clue, and it has the game text. When it is revealed, you put the two backstage doorway locations into play at random. So we've done that here. We've got these two backstage doorway locations, and while at backstage, each hidden treachery in your hand counts as 3 cards instead of 1 for purposes of counting your hand. So we have not drawn our opening hand yet. We are on Agenda 1A, the third act. It has a doom threshold of 6, and our act is 1A, Awakening, and it has, we need 3 clues per investigator, so we're going to have to come up with 3 clues in order to advance our act. We are playing Curtain Call in hard tonight, so this will be very interesting. The skull is a -X, where X is the amount of horror on you, and if you have no horror, X is equal to 1. And of course, the Cultist Tablet and Elder Things are -5. And if your location has at least 1 horror on it, you take 1 horror, and if your location has no horror on it, you place 1 horror on it instead. We haven't got a weakness for this Lola deck yet, so we'll shuffle those up and bring one of those into play. Oh, we get overzealous. This one. This is the Revelation. You draw the top card of the encounter deck, and that card gains Surge. So that could lead to some very quick deaths, depending what we draw. We'll shuffle that into our deck, and I think we're ready to draw our opening hand. Let's see what we get. Here we have Lucky, Unexpected Courage, a Magnifying Glass, a Look What I Found, and some Fine Clothes. That's not a bad hand. No weapon, though. Would prefer to have a weapon, so let's pitch the Unexpected Courage and the Lucky. Yeah, that's it. Well, we get a vicious blow, no help there, and another copy of fine clothes. So that's not great. Would have preferred to have had a weapon, but maybe we can draw one quickly enough in order to deal with our friend the Royal Emissary when he comes out at the end of Agenda 1A. I think we're ready to take the first turn here, so I am going to first of all play my flash or my magnifying glass as a free action to give myself a +1. I think I'm also going to play the fine clothes. Drop that out there. We have, I guess we're starting our roll. It will be Seeker. We can switch once this round. No sense in going to Guardian, but we do want to grab this clue at backstage if we can. We've got 2 actions remaining. We're investigating at a 4 versus 3 right now. And that's not too bad. I think we'll go 4 versus 3 for our first test and see how we do. Let's see what the Chaos Bag has to say. Oh, there's an Elder Sign, so we can switch roles if we want as well. I will just take the clue. I don't think I need to switch. No, I don't. So that, well, we might as well take the free. We'll take the free switch to Survivor, so we have that. Look what I found. So we played the magnifying glass for free, played the fine clothes, we investigated once, and now we have 1 more action remaining. Let us head over to this backstage doorway. And, oh, it's the dressing room. So it's the 4 shroud location with 0 clues, and it has the triple action, heal 3 horror. Fortunately, we have no horror, so we don't have to worry about that right now. And unfortunately, though, that means we're going to have to do this the hard way. We are going to have to head back over to, we're going to have to go to maybe the balcony or one of these other lobby locations to get that 3rd clue that we need. We will draw a card. There's an evidence. We will add a resource, throw up a doom, and we are ready to draw our first encounter card. Let's see what we get. We are, there we go, Rotting Remains is our first one. It is, so we're a 3/3, and yeah, we don't have anything that can help us with that, unfortunately, so we're just going to go 3 versus 3. We need to shuffle those into our deck before I forget. 3 versus 3, and we are just going to the Chaos Bag. It will say -1, so we will take 1 horror out of the deal. Not too bad, all things considered. That could have been pretty painful if we happen to draw a really bad negative number. So it is our turn. We are a survivor. Do we want to switch? We do not have a weapon yet. I would like a weapon. A machete would be ideal, considering we've got the vicious blow. Just depends whether this backstage doorway is the rat room or not. If it's not, we could get the clue pretty easily. 1, 2, possibly get it this turn. So we're going to go 1, 2 to the backstage doorway. Let's see what we get. It is the rehearsal room, so it's not the rat room. That's the 1 shroud location with 1 clue, and that has the forced effect. After you succeed by 2 or more while investigating the rehearsal room, take 1 horror. So we are currently investigating at a 4 versus 1, so we will take a horror if we investigate as it stands. I'm just wondering whether we try to draw a card instead, or whether we just go for pure speed and try to beat this thing as fast as we can. We'll go 4 versus 1, I think, just for... yeah, we'll just go 4 versus 1, see how we do here. There's a skull, that's going to be -1 for each horror, and we have 1 horror, so we are at a 3, but we will take a horror because we succeeded by 2 or more. So that is a little unfortunate, but we do get that clue, and that will be great. So that was 1, 2, and 3. So that will be our turn. We'll draw a card. There is a fire axe, and we are a survivor, so there is a weapon. That's good. Alright, we will gain a resource, add a doom, and our second encounter card of the game will be, it is the Spirit's Torment. That is the revelation that you attach to your location, and you have to take a horror or lose an action when you move. You also have the option of placing one of your clues on the attached location to discard Spirit's Torment. We are not going to be doing that because I have no plans on ever coming back to the rehearsal room. So we are going to simply... we are a survivor, so I am going to pay a resource to drop our fire axe. And do we want to switch? I think we're going to switch to... we don't need to switch yet. We'll switch when we're in a few seconds here. So that was our first action. Second action, we'll move backstage. Third action to the theater. Theater is just a 2-shroud location with 0 clues and a bunch of game text, so we don't have to worry about that. And that's going to do it for that turn. Now, before I draw a card, do I want to switch so I don't lose my fire axe? If I draw Crisis of Identity, I think I am going to switch to... let's go Guardian, because we can use that evidence if necessary. So we will draw a card. There's a Guts. We will gain a resource. Throw up another Doom. And our third encounter card this game is going to be... it's the King's Edict. That's the pact that for each cultist enemy in play, you move a clue from the enemy's location to the enemy. Unfortunately, there are no cultists on the table at this time, so we will simply surge that into something else. And it is Whispers in Our Head Anxiety. You cannot trigger free abilities. And yeah, we had this one last game during the playthrough, and of course Lola's ability is totally centered around that free trigger of her ability to switch her role. So yeah, we're going to have to get rid of that right away. So that will be our first 2 actions, is going to be to get rid of Whispers in Our Head so we can switch roles again. And then we've got 1 action left. We will move over to the lobby. And it is a 4-shroud location with 1 clue. It has the forced effect. When the lobby is revealed, you put the 2 set-aside lobby doorway locations into play at random, and you can take 2 actions to draw a card. Let's find those lobby locations. There's one of them, and there is the other. So we will drop those into play up here. So who knows where the man in the pallid mask is going to show up at this time. He could be pretty much anywhere, unfortunately. He can either show up over back at the backstage area or the lobby area. So we're going to have to move back and forth, which is never great. That will be our turn, unfortunately, because we had to get rid of that Whispers in Our Head. We're still a guardian, and I think I'm happy with that for the time being. We'll draw a card. There's another guts. Keeping it with my tradition of my playthroughs where I always draw the guts after I draw the rotting remains. We'll gain a resource, add a doom, and our next encounter card. There's the rats. Whoops. Whoa. Slow down there. Alright, we got our rats. Okay, we got a fire axe and some rats. That's fine. Rats were 3 versus 1. Now, we are a guardian. That is good. The evidence is already making its name felt here. Because if we can kill those rats, we can play the evidence to grab that final clue that we need. That would put us in very good position. So that will be our first action for sure. We are going to try to kill the rats. We are a 3 versus 1. So we're going to do that straight up. And we'll see how we do. Chaos Bag says -3, so that will be a failure, unfortunately. We will give it another try as our second action. 3 versus 1. And that's -2, so that will be a success. And so we will discard the rats, and we are going to play our evidence in order to grab this clue. And we have one clue. We have one action left, and we do get to advance our act now. So let's take care of that. So we flip to Act 1B, his final bow. So we have to choose one of the set aside locations at random and put that location into play. Spawn the man in the pallid mask at that location, and then we advance to one of the 3 copies of Act 2A. So that is going to be quite interesting. So let's see how we do here. We will let's flip these over so we don't we have no inclination as to what we're going to get. We'll shuffle them up, and the man in the pallid mask is going backstage, unfortunately. That is rotten luck, because now we've got to crisscross back over to the backstage, and then we're going to have to crisscross again back over to the lobby. So that's going to be a lot of movement. And it's going to chew up a lot of time, unfortunately. And time is not something you have a great deal of in this scenario. So we will drop the man in the pallid mask there. Now, we have to advance to one of the random stage 2s. So give me a sec here while I set these up. Shuffle those up. That'll be our stage 2. Put that into play. We've got an action left. So we are going to head over to theater. Yeah, that's the best we can do. Now, are we in a position? No, we're not going to be able to. We're probably not going to be able to kill the man in the pallid mask that easily. We've got 5 resources, so we're a bit heavy for the fire axe. And then we're going to have to. We could use the trick. We haven't switched roles this round, so maybe what we could do is switch to Survivor, and then when we're in position during that, we can switch to Guardian during before we commit cards, so we can use the fire axe to attack, but then we can actually pitch vicious blow to get the extra damage. Unfortunately, we're going to have to just hit him once, and then maybe we can try that trick. So do I do it now or later is the question. If I do it now, I could lose the fire axe to a crisis of identity, and I don't really want to do that. So next turn I would be going 1, 2, and I would have the rats as well, because we know this backstage doorway is the trap room, and we're going to have to face some rats. I believe the trap room's a 3-shroud location, so we would have to do, would it be 5? Skill test versus 5. I don't think we're in a position to do that. So we might end up killing him, might be our best bet here. So 1, 2. Engage would be 3. No, I'm not. To switch or not to switch, that's the issue. I am going to. I'm not going to switch this turn. I'll switch next turn. So we are still a guardian. There is a lucky. Okay. Now we get a resource and a doom. Let's see what we get for encounter cards. Black Stars Rise, that's the omen you test for intellect, and if you fail, you either place 1 doom on the current agenda or take a horror for each point you fail by, and this effect can cause the agenda to advance. So we are going to probably be advancing the agenda, unfortunately. We are only a 3 versus 4, and we're just going to take that test straight up. Holy cow. Elder Sign. Did we actually pass that thing? We passed. Unbelievable. Awesome. Okay, well, we'll take that any day. That was a huge surprise. Passing a Black Star's Rise. So, yeah, we do not have to add a doom, and we get to... because otherwise that was going to bring out our friend, the Royal Emissary, and we'd have to kill him first. Alright, so that's good. That we dodged a bullet there. It is our next turn, so we can move 1, 2, and then we're going to have to engage him. Yeah, so we'll go 1, 2. We flip this one over. So it is the trap room. It's a 3-shroud location with 1 clue, and that is the one where you have to grab the rats afterwards, or once you do that. So we will go hunting for rats. Let's look at all the cards. Find ourselves a copy of the rats. There they are. Shuffle those up, put those into play. Now, this is an interesting situation, because what it would be worthwhile doing is, so we can either investigate, that would be a 5, we'd be 4, 5, 6, and then a lucky, or we save the lucky. Maybe we go, or what we could do is use the fire axe to really beat up the rats. So next turn we're in position to kill the man in the pallid mask in 1 turn. That might be the best play. So let's do that. What we're going to do, we are... now, what was I? I was a guardian, so I do have to switch. So I'm going to switch over to survivor. I'm going to spend three resources here. We're going to burn 3. We're going to give ourselves +6, so we are at a 9 versus the 1 for the rats. Now, if any time you're going to pull a tentacle, it's here. Let's see. Nope, we get a 0, so the rats will die. Okay, so we are a survivor. Unfortunately, we're going to be 1 resource too high, because what I was thinking I could do would be to burn... Oh, I don't think I could do it. I don't think there's an action window where I can burn all the Fire Axe tokens and then play the Vicious Blow. So we're going to have to hit him with the axe once, and then hit him again, and swap to Guardian to play the Vicious Blow to kill him in a turn. Alright. That was the end of our turn, so we gain a card. There is the art student. I'd like to see her. We will gain a resource. Unfortunately, we add a doom and we are flipping to the emissary's message, Agenda 1B. We simply bring out the Royal Emissary, who is going to hang out in the theater. And we will put Encore into play. And away we go. We need an encounter card. And it is a Frozen in Fear. Not this again. For those of you who have watched the previous playthrough, Frozen in Fear played a pretty big role in that one. I think we had to kill off 2 of those things over the course of the game. Fortunately, I do have a couple of copies of Guts, but we are going to only get 1 swing at the man in the pallid mask. Or we go for the... Is it better in this case not to kill him and try to go the perception route? That's a tough choice. If we go the investigate route, we need a 5. We're at a 4. We could go 4, 5, 6, and then we'd have our guts. That would be helpful. We are a survivor right now, so we could do it. And then maybe kill him over at the lobby. Problem is we're going to have to also kill the Royal Emissary and or evade him. So we need to get ready to do that as well. So what is our best bet? I think I'm going to try to beat him because we've got the Frozen in Fear. Move, fighter, evade is going to cost us an additional action. So what we could do... Yeah, that's what we'll do here. We're going to try to beat it. We're going to try to beat him with the investigate. It's a +2 shroud, so he's going to be a 3. It's going to be a 5. We're a 4. We will pitch the Look What I Found to make us a 6. And we've got our lucky if we need it. So we're going 6 versus 5. Not the greatest odds in the world. But that's not going to cost us an extra action. So let's see what the Chaos Bag has to say. -3. So that puts us at a drops us to 3 versus 5. So that is within the lucky range. So we can pitch the lucky. And we successfully investigate and defeat the man in the pallid mask. So that is good news. Now, that will advance us immediately. So we need to flip over this. Hopefully it's not the ooze. It is the Shores of Hali, which is the Act 2B. Instead of discarding the man in the pallid mask, you move him to the lobby. You have to add 2 Elder Thing tokens to the Chaos bag, and you place 1 horror on each private location. So this is a private location. That's a private location. That's a private location. So we put horror all through there. This is horror represents the rising floodwater, and each location with horror gains force. When you would leave this location, test 2 agility. If you fail, you take a damage and cancel the effect of the move. So I'm going to have to take a sec here. I need to create a new chaos bag here quickly, because I forgot to do that. So give me a sec here while I do that. Come on. Yeah, I recently switched over to using my other system, which I have. I usually use my laptop when I record, and so I decided to swap over to my desktop downstairs, but unfortunately I don't have any of Octagon set up down there, so I've been busy doing that. This afternoon. Alright, we will just save this over and load it up, and we'll be ready to go. Alright. We will get our 2 Elder Thing tokens and add them to the bag. So the man in the pallid mask heads back to the lobby. We have floodwaters rising all over the place here, so we're going to have to make an agility 2 test and take a damage and cancel the effect of the move. I'm not a big fan of that, that's for sure. And Curtain Call comes into play. So we are going to go. That was our first action. We have 2 actions left. Now, if we go backstage, we're going to get attacked by the Royal Emissary. And that'll take up both our actions, and we have to make a check, and if we fail, then we don't succeed. We won't move. So I think what I'm going to do is play my art student. We'll drop the art student. That'll put us at and we'll get this clue, so we'll get an extra VP. And then we have 1 action left, so I'm going to draw a card. There's a shortcut. Okay, that's nice. So we can move. Now, does that move? Yeah, it does affect when we would leave the location. Okay, so now we can try to get rid of this Frozen in Fear. It's a test 3. We are a 3. Oh, we have to switch, don't we? If we want to play that art student. Yeah, we're okay, because we were a survivor, and we can switch to Seeker this turn. So we are a Seeker. Keep that in mind. Okay, we have to try to get rid of the Frozen in Fear. We're a 3 versus 3. We'll pitch the guts, to go 5 versus 3. And we will. There's another Elder Sign. Wow. Okay, so we succeed. We get rid of that. And we do draw a card for the guts. There's another shortcut. Okay, well those come up at just the perfect time. Man, if we could get, we might be able to boogie over to the lobby here. If we can, this royal emissary moves over and we can somehow get by him, we could have a couple turns with the man in the pallid mask to ourselves. Oh, thanks very much, Huckman. Yeah, this is the first time I'm giving streaming a try, so I'm glad you were able to tune in. Yeah, I'm just hoping if I can play these couple shortcuts, maybe we can get over to the man in the pallid mask and have him all to ourselves for a couple turns. The problem is these floodwaters are going to make it awfully tough. All right, well that was the end of our turn. The royal emissary is going to move, and unfortunately we are going to take a horror. So, if I can find the horror, there we go. So we are at 3 horror. We are playing on hard, so this the skulls are now -3, and they'll just keep getting worse and worse as we go. So basically our next turn is try to move. It's only from these... Oh, the floodwater is going to spread. That's the problem. Yeah, this could get really messy. The floodwater is going to make it very difficult to get... we're going to have to pass a lot of agility checks. This is not good. Alright, well, we'll have to see what... Hopefully the Chaos Bag will favor us. I believe we can just go to draw a card here. There's a perception. That's not going to help us with agility tests, unfortunately. We will add a resource, throw a doom up here. We need to add the water, so the water spreads to there and there. And then we are going to move... we just need an encounter card, so let's see what we get. And it is a Dissonant Voices, so there goes the shortcut plan out the window, because that will prevent us from playing them. Okay, well that's a little disappointing. Unfortunately, we just have to try to succeed at these tests, and we are not really set up for it. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. We need to go... We're a seeker. We know that. So we've got these shortcuts and the fine clothes that we can play. Those are all agility icons. Unfortunately, we need to get... Now, I'm wondering if we can move to the backstage, then move again, just take the 2 damage from the Royal Emissary, then play one of our shortcuts, we can get to the lobby this turn. Move, move. Shortcut. Engage man with pallid mask. Then kill him next turn? Can we do that? Move, move. Play shortcut to move. Engage, take the horror. Then we can use the fire axe. Oh, that's right, yeah. No shortcuts this turn. Yeah, that's a pain. Alright, well, we can still get to the lobby. That's still a possibility. But we're going to have to get through. So we're just going to have to start doing tests here. So we're going to move to the backstage, first of all. I'm going to pitch this copy of Fine Clothes to give us a 4 versus 2. Let's see what the Chaos Bag says. -1. We are successful. Okay. So far, so good. Now, we have one more. Now, if we just take the 2, not leaving ourselves a whole lot of sanity, unfortunately. So we are going to have to... Well, I'm going to pitch both the shortcuts. I'll play both the shortcuts because we're going to need to get to the theater. So if I ditch both the shortcuts, we'll be at a 4 versus 2. Let's see if the Chaos Bag will let us have this one. -1 again. Okay, so we move and we take 2 damage from the Royal Emissary, but we do get past him. And then we use our 3rd action to move to the lobby. Okay, so the floodwaters were annoying, but we have managed to bypass them. So we are actually in a position to kill, engage. We can hit him for 3. Actually, we could do this. We might be able to resign next turn. We just might be able to do it. Okay, that was our turn. Royal Emissary is going to move over. We're going to take another horror. And we'll draw a card. There's the Look What I Found. Oh. That's also tempting. We could go... That'd be a 6. We'd be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 versus 6. It's not... I mean... It's not great. What would be our chance of killing him? We could pitch... we're going to get a resource. So we could go... hit for 3. Problem is there's no window where I can use the... in between using the fire axe and the... Unless I switch to... Do I need to be... No, I can't. I can't do it. Okay. Maybe we'll just have to try that Hail Mary. We need a Doom. Let's not get carried away here. We've got other issues. Add a Doom. And our encounter card is... There's Whispers in Our Head. I cannot move more than once each turn. That is absolutely fine by me. I have no intention of moving. Okay. Dissonant Voices is gone. What am I doing? I should be putting this horror on the art student, because each horror on me is going to be causing me causing those skulls to be worse. Okay, I'm a seeker still. So the question is, engage, move, test. I mean, the other option is we engage the man in the pallid mask. We move and take a horror. Then we engage, move, test, and test at the theater, or test at the balcony. If we engage, move, test at the balcony, that's a 4. Yeah, I like that plan. One of my viewers pointed that out. You know, if you grab the man in the pallid mask and you move him around, then you got a better chance of pulling off that test. We'd still have to take a horror from the Royal Emissary, but then we could probably move to the lobby and resign the following turn. Okay, that's what we're going to do. We will engage the man with the pallid mask. We are at this stage, are we not? Yes, we are. Okay, first action. Second action, we move. Oh, but that's that. Oh, okay, that changes it because we've got the floodwaters to deal with too. We could draw a card. See if we can get some more. What would we be at? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 versus 6. Okay, I'm going to draw one card. Oh, nice. Nice. Okay, now we're going to go with that other plan. Okay, so we're going to switch to Survivor as our role. We will do an investigate. We are at, it's going to be a 6 shroud. So we will play 2, 4 plus our thing. So we're at 8 versus 6, and we've got a lucky. This is Hail Mary, but we'll see how it goes. The Chaos Bag says 0. We pass. We defeat the man in the pallid mask. For the second time, we get a card. There's an unexpected courage, and yeah, I will resign as my final action. Whoo! Beating curtain call on hard mode. Nice. I like it. All right. Well, that was I wasn't sure how that game was going to go because we had. Thanks very much, Jonas, and thanks for tuning in as well. Everybody who's I see we were up to 6 whole viewers. Wow, that's awesome. That's great for. Oh, somebody just showed up and we just beat it. Yeah, that was. I wasn't really sure how that was going to go, considering we had to crisscross the maps back and forth like 3 times. But yeah, that lucky was nice to have as insurance, and wow, to beat this on hard mode with Lola is that's pretty sweet. Pretty pumped about that. So yeah, I'm the changes that I made to the deck. Yeah, well, the evidence certainly came in handy. Let me just look at all these cards. The evidence certainly came in handy because it allowed me to pick up a clue when I killed those rats. The shortcuts didn't, although they were in the deck before. Never did see taunt. The one problem I think with this deck is that the Guardian cards, I think when you're building a Lola deck, you really need to have one role as your combat and one role as your where did I pick up the accent? I'm Canadian, so I guess that's where the accent comes from. If you haven't heard it before, yeah, when you're playing Lola, you need to. I think what you need is one of your roles to stay as your combat role, and then you've got to basically have an investigating role. And my combat role is sort of my fire axe, but I've also got a machete. But vicious blow and fire axe don't work very well together, and so if you draw the fire axe first, then you end up with the machete. And thanks very much, Bernard, for getting up so early. It's nighttime here, so. Yeah, it's tough. I'm just not sure whether I need to. I think maybe what I just need to do is completely abandon the plan of having the machete and the vicious blow. Maybe swap the vicious blow for something else, but I can't quite think of what I might want to swap it for. Just going to load up this deck again and see what my options are here. Switch over to the deck builder for a moment here and see what the because I've got the machete and I've got the vicious blow, but I'm not too sure what are other good what good guardian cards I can add. I've looked at the list a few times and I'm just not satisfied. I mean, if it bleeds, the problem is with this scenario you don't end up with you don't have a whole lot of enemy, like the Royal Emissary doesn't have horror on him, so you don't get to use it. Can't use I've Had Worse. Ambush isn't helpful. I guess there's Dynamite Blast, but that doesn't really play very nicely with Dark Horse, even though I've yet to see Dark Horse in either of the games I've played with this thing. And don't need extra ammunition, don't need... Let's see, there's just a real lack of maybe another Prepared for the Worst, but that just gets me my Fire Axe quicker. Taunt, Teamwork. True Grit might be worthwhile, but it's again 3 resources, so that's kind of expensive for what I'm trying to do with the deck. Or maybe maybe the part of the problem is that Dark Horse just doesn't work in this particular build. I think it might be better off. I know I was looking over at Zoe Glass's deck over on Arkham DB, and he uses Mystic as his other class, and I think that might actually have some better choices than Guardian, just because of the you can play Ward of Protection in that one and protect yourself a little bit. But I think what I'm going to do here, I've still got some time, so I'm going to load up this game again, and we'll give this another try and see how it goes. One test isn't really going to tell us whether we're on the right track or not. So yeah, thanks for everybody for tuning in. We are just for those who just joined us, we are playing Curtain Call with Lola in hard mode, and we actually managed to pull off a win in the first try. Yeah, Lone Wolf. I was thinking about going rogue because I wanted elusive, but I couldn't really find anything after elusive that I was interested in. So it's yeah, that's the thing about Lola. She can be, you get a bunch of cards, but you can choose all the cards, and you've got so many different cards that you can play with, but it's hard to say, it's hard to pick the best 3 where are we here? There we go. It's hard to find the 3 that work ideally. So we'll throw up our locations here again. Get this set up as quickly as we can so we can squeeze in another game here. We'll play with a different weakness this time just to get some diversity. see a bunch of different see how she fares against different different weaknesses as well. So we'll shuffle those weaknesses up, and this time it's paranoia, so we're going to be discarding all our resources if we draw that one. So that's pretty I guess in a dark horse deck that's not terrible. We'll get our backstage doorway locations out, and I think we are ready to go. Am I at a minimum number of for my 3 colors? No, I'm not. I'm slightly over on I believe it's Seeker and Survivor. I have a couple of slots. This deck originally had Leo DeLuca in it. I tried, just because once you get him on the table, it doesn't matter. You can just swap out a rogue and never worry about it. You know, if a lone wolf, if you went that way, that would certainly work, because you have to trigger that? I'm not too sure. If you have to trigger that, that could be a problem in Lola. But let's see how we do this game. We will shuffle everything up, and let's draw our 5 cards. Okay, hey, look at that. Dark horse. Finally, the dark horse deck gets a dark horse. Guts, dark horse, evidence, and a vicious blow. Okay, I don't want the vicious blow. Don't really want the guts right now. Sort of like the others, because if we get the rats, the evidence can really come in handy. Let's go with those. There's a preposterous sketches. That's nice. Hey, and improvisation. So we can start as a seeker. We can start as a seeker and then swap to survivor and play dark horse and preposterous sketches this turn. And that would give us a nice little jump. Now, probably the best way to do that would be to play the dark horse first, then swap, so we don't lose the dark horse if we draw a crisis. So let's do that. We will play 3 for dark horse, swap to survivor, pay 2 for the preposterous because we've got a clue there, so we can do it. We get to draw 3 cards, overpower. There's the crisis. We've got to discard all cards I control. That's fine. Discard top card of our deck. So we will discard this. So we're a guardian now, and we draw our 3rd card, and we get a taunt. Too bad. I wish I'd discarded the taunt and kept the machete. That would have been much better. Much better. But we are a guardian, so there is that. And we have 1 action left. Man, that machete would have been nice to have. We could have played that down with our improvisation for free? For free, yeah. Got an action left. We're a guardian. We're 4 versus 3 backstage. Yeah, I'm willing to take a shot at it. Let's see how we do. Well, there's a failure. I knew the tentacle was going to have to come out sometime, since it didn't come out last turn. Or sorry, last game. Alright, so we'll draw a card. There is a perception. That's nice to see. And do we gain a resource? No, we are not going to gain a resource. We will add a doom. And our first encounter card is... Oh, I hate this thing. Spires of Carcosa. This just speeds up the game. You attach it to your location. It gets 2 doom on it. And if there's no doom on the attached location, you discard it, and you can burn up a bunch of investigate tests. Yeah, I'd like to use the swatches too, but unfortunately I don't have them loaded on this system yet. That will be something I will do. I will be doing probably tomorrow. I will get those swatches back on here. Like I was telling everybody, I usually use my laptop to do my videos, and but I can't stream on my laptop because it's not powerful enough. So I have to stream on my desktop downstairs, but I didn't have Octagon loaded on it. So sort of piecing it together as quickly as I can here. So that's going to add a couple doom, and it's just going to speed up this game quite a bit. So we need to... I don't really want to waste a bunch of investigate checks. We are a guardian, so I am going to pitch the perception and investigate at 4, 5, 6 versus 3, and we get a 0. That's good. 6 versus 3, so we grab a clue. Second action, yeah, it's okay that we're a guardian, because if we run into this rat room, we're going to be in good shape. We will go there. Ah, dang it. Hate the dressing room. 2, so we're going to just move back. That's about the best we can do. Alright, we're still a guardian. Oh, I do get a card for perception. Thank you for reminding me about that. Awesome. You guys in the chat keep me honest here. It's nice to have you guys backing me up so I don't make mistakes. It can it can be tricky to juggle all these different things when you're playing. All right, we have a choice of a resource or not. Do I take a resource? What's the chance this is the rat room? I'm going to take a resource. I'm betting it's the rat room this time. And, oh, I didn't get a card for dressing room. Okay, yeah, so I do get another card. It's another improvisation. Okay. Alright, so we did take a resource. We are going to add a doom. We are up to 4 doom already. This is going to be a rough game. Alright, and we get a fanatic. Oh, that's awesome. I love when these guys come out. Revealed location with most clues. Well, you can hang out at the dressing room for all I care. You can spend as much time up there as you want. Alright, I bet this was the rat room, so let's move in as our first action. And it was not the rat room. Too bad. But we are 3 versus 1. That's fine. It's that's the rehearsal room. After you succeed by 2 or more, you get a horror. So I will take second action. We will go 3 versus 1. Chaos bag says 0. So we get a clue, but we take a horror. And we will go 1, 2. We have to head back. 3. That will do it for that turn. I'm not going to take a resource this turn. Do I want to burn the shortcut now? I'm a guardian. I could switch, I'm going to hang on to it for the time being. There's some fine clothes. Not going to use the resource. And we will throw up a doom. We're at 5. And our encounter card is... Alright. Another fanatic. Awesome. You can hang out with your friend up in the dressing room. Try on some clothes. You know, do some cosplay. Maybe some light role-playing. And that's fine by me. Alright, so which way do we... Hand size is 8. We're, I think we're good for hand size. It's going to be a problem next turn. Now we can go 1, 2, 3 up to the balcony. Or we go 1, 2... Okay, I am going to switch to Seeker so I can play my shortcut for a free move. Then I'm going to go 1, 2. So when we pass through the lobby, we have to pull out our lobby locations. And we get to the balcony. It's the 2 shroud location with 1 clue. And after you perform a move action during which you move from the balcony to the theater, you take 2 damage. So if you want to jump off the balcony into the theater, you certainly can do that if you're desperate. I've got 1 action remaining. I am a Seeker. Now... I've got 1 action remaining, but I'd be a 3 versus 2 unless I play... Do I pitch an improv, or do I change to something? Or do I do... Because if I grab this clue this turn, then I'll know where the man in the pallid mask is going to go. If he ends up in the lobby, or one of the lobbies... Problem is, we don't really have a whole lot to kill him with. That's not great. We do have a taunt, but we have no weapon. I think I am gonna play an improv for free. Play an improvisation from free to switch my role. I'm gonna switch to Guardian. And so I can draw a card. Now, why was I doing that? Okay, I get another shortcut. And then I was going to play this to do my test. So I would be at a 5 versus 2. And we get another 0. So that is successful. Okay, that actually worked out okay. Alright, so we are a Guardian. We are a 5 versus... we did pass the test, and we do advance our agenda. Or our act, sorry. So we have to choose a random one. Let's see, let's hope he... let's hope he shows up in the lobby. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Man in the pallid mask is in the lobby doorway. Okay. So then we advance to random stage 2. Shuffle those up. That's the one we're going to take. Okay. So we are at... That was our turn. And now we get to draw a card. I'm not going to take a resource. Oh, there's a weapon. That's good news. Between the Dark Horse and him... Yeah... Well, maybe I do want a resource now. Yeah, I think we want a resource. Okay, so we did get a weapon. We did take a resource. We're going to add a doom. And so this Carcosa thing goes away. Those doom go away. And our buddy comes here. Royal Emissary hits the table again. And we will get an encounter card. Which will be Black Star's Rise. Okay, so we're just... game wants to speed up a little bit more. We are a 3 versus 4. Hey, maybe we can pull an Elder Sign like last game and pass this thing. Or we can get a skull and not. Okay, so we've got... we will have to add a doom. I'm not taking horror if I can help it. Okay. What is our plan now? The plan is to kill the man in the pallid mask. We can go 1, move to the lobby, 2. We are a guardian, I believe, is what we were. Yes. Yes, we were a guardian. Okay. So we're going to need to switch if we want. Okay, so if we switch to survivor, drop the fire axe for 1, and move twice. Oh, that changes things. The box office is only a 2-shroud location. And it has the action gain 5 resources, and you have to remember that you stole from the box office. So we could actually pass an investigate check there. It's only a 4. We need to... we are a survivor. That took up our whole turn. So if we pass the investigate, we'd need to go... we'd be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or we engage him next turn, and we could plug 1 in, so we'd be 3, 4, 5 versus 4, yeah. Or we play... I'm wondering if it might not be better to play the improvisation. Oh, we've also got an overpower. No, I think I'm going to stay as a guardian, or sorry, as a survivor for the time being. Okay, that's what we'll do. Okay, we get an evidence, so that's not going to help us at the moment. I'm going to get a resource so we can burn it for the fire axe. We're going to get a doom. Oh, sorry, we're going to move the royal emissary and take a horror before we do any of that. And we get a encounter card. Oh, why does this thing always show up when I have assets to play, events to play? Okay, so no events or assets this turn. That's going to be... Does that screw us up? Not really. Okay, so what we need to do... We can't taunt him. That was the plan, but that's gone now. So if we engage, or we just test... We're a survivor. If we test, he'll move. Then we could move and maybe evade the royal emissary. Is that a possibility? I think we're going to go the other way. Yeah. Okay, we will... Can't play events. That's fine. I think what we'll do is we'll just try the investigate test. So it's going to be a 4. So we will play... We are a survivor, so we can play the liquid eye found for 2. And that for 2. So we'll be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 versus 4. Chaos Bag says, oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. One too few. Dang it. That hurt. That hurt. So now we need a new plan. We could still try to kill him, but we're not going to kill him this turn. Yeah, a heartbreaker. That's... That'll take the wind out of your sails pretty quickly, I'm afraid. That's bad news. I don't have, and the problem is I just don't have the cards really to try it again. I could go 5 versus 4 if I swap over to Guardian, but that's a pretty big maybe. Like, on hard, you really need to be 3 up to have a good chance, and okay, so what if I attack him? If I engage him, I can get 1 shot in. I could burn 2 and hit him for 2. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. We will engage him, and then we will attack him. So we will spend both resources to add 4, so we will be a 7 versus 4, so we're 3 up. Oh, no, we get 1 more. We're 8 versus 4, so we're 4 up. And we get a -1, so we hit him for 2 damage. Unfortunately, we're going to take a crap load of horror and damage here right quick. Okay. So that was our turn. Royal Emissary shows up. We take 2 damage. Then we take a horror, 2 more horror. Not great. There's another dark horse. That's not going to help us. I'm going to take a resource. And this thing goes away. We add a doom. And we draw an encounter card. Oh, man. Frozen by Fear should make yet another appearance. It wouldn't be a Lola game without a Frozen by Fear or 2 or 3 to make your life miserable. Okay, so now we have a shot at killing the man in the pallid mask. So we will burn our resource. This is going to cost us 2 actions. I just don't think we've got the sanity to beat this at this point. We're pretty... Maybe if I draw another perception, we could drag the man up there. Okay, let's just worry about this first. We're going to kill him. So we spend a resource. So we are at 3, 4, 5. I'm going to pitch the overpower. 6, 7 versus 4. 7 versus 4. And we get... That time we get it right. It's -3, but we do hit him. Okay, so we kill the man in the pallid mask. That takes us 2 actions. We get a card for that. Okay, there's another... There's some more intellect. Okay. So the man dies, and we advance. So let's see what we're advancing to. It is a City of Flame. So we this guy goes back to the lobby. We place a horror token on the theater. It is on fire. And until the end of the scenario, locations representing spreading flames, and each location represents spreading flames gains a horror. After you enter this location or end your turn, you test 3. If you fail, you take a damage. Okay. I was a survivor. I haven't switched this turn, have I? Maybe the chat can remind me. I don't think I have. Because what I'm wondering, I have 1 action left. If I can evade the Royal Emissary, then I could switch to Seeker and play my shortcut to get over to the man, and maybe set up next turn where I swap over to Guardian and just drop my hand and try to beat him in a turn, because I don't have the sanity to really play with him. Okay, first we've got to evade. Or do we bother? Why do I care about evading the Royal Emissary when I could just play my shortcut and move anyway? Yeah, I don't... I'm going to take the 2 damage anyway. I'm just going to move. I'll take the attack. Oh, but then he's going to move, and that'll kill me. So that's not a good idea. So I do have to evade him. Alright. Well, we are 4 versus 2. So let's give it a shot. Chaos Bag, are you going to be kind? No, you are not. You are going to be dirty and rotten. Okay, so that's a failure. And so he is going to attack us for 2 damage. and a horror. And so we have to, well, we can test for the Frozen in Fear. We're a 4 versus a 3. So we will just test straight up. We get a -2, so that is not going to work. I think that might be it. I think that's going to probably do it, because next turn, yeah, we're going to evade. We're going to take 2, but then we're going to, yeah. Dang it! I thought we had that one. Unfortunately, we just run out of horror, because the Frozen Fears basically locks us down at this location, and we can't, if we take 2 actions to evade, well, no, I think we're still in it. Let me think here for a second. So if we evade him next turn, that gives us 1 action, but we can be a seeker, and we'd move. Then we get, oh, but we can't resign. That's the problem. We can get there, but we can't resign in time because of the emissary. Okay, well, that's too bad. We came awfully close there, but we did win the first game. So hey, that's it's I don't mind picking up a win on hard mode against with Lola. So that was, but this one I think we're just, yeah, we just run into sanity trouble, and we can't, we're not going to have the time to get out of it, unfortunately. I probably should have pitched the Dark Horse. Yeah. All right, well, that was a little disappointing, but we came awfully close to beating this twice on hard mode, so that's great. I think that will do it for me tonight. Overall, I'm happy, I think, with the changes that I made to the deck. I think there's still room for improvement, though. I think I really need to still tweak the Guardian package a little bit to see if I can't make it work a little bit better for me. I think I either need to drop the machete or maybe switch classes altogether to see if we can't improve things. But certainly picking up a win on hard is great, and I'm thanks to everybody out there who showed up there. Macon Games, Bernard, Jonas, Steve, Huckman. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody who was in the chat. Thanks for keeping me honest and making sure I didn't make any mistakes. I really appreciate it. Yeah, Frozen in Fear is a pretty it's pretty debilitating. This scenario taxes your actions so heavily that if you get tagged by it, I mean, it's worse if you're playing skids. I got tagged by this thing so many times with skids that you know, it just, and skids, once he gets hit by Frozen in Fear, he's basically done for, because he just doesn't, unless you're packing a lot of willpower icons, he almost has no chance of breaking it. So actually, before I go, I'd just like to know, is the audio okay? Does it sound okay on your guys' end? Because I did test it beforehand, but I know some people have complained that the audio was a bit low. And so if you could just let me know how the audio stands before I sign off here, that would be great. And make sure you leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the stream, and do let me know if you enjoyed the stream. I'm more than happy to do them again on fairly frequent basis. My time has freed up quite a bit here in the last couple days, so there's going to be a lot more games coming up on the channel here. I believe tomorrow night I am going to record Safina. I'm going to play a Safina deck against Curtain Call and maybe Last King if I have time. I actually beat Curtain Call last week with Safina, and she went 5 for 6 versus Last King, so I'm hoping I can repeat that on stream. Of course, now that I've said it, I will probably crash and burn, but you never know. It was I really do enjoy playing Safina, but I haven't done so on stream yet, so we couldn't I kill it? Kill the Royal Emissary? Well, yeah, I'm not too sure I could kill it. It's at a 4. What would that be? 4. I don't have any resources left, unfortunately. So it'd be a 4 versus a 3, and there's no way I could hit it. That's the biggest issue. I'd have to switch to Guardian and pitch some of my cards and hope for the best. And I'm not confident that I could do that. But yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, it's hard when you're trying to consider all the options and looking at what the best way is to go about it. So thanks again for everybody for tuning in, and make sure you check out tomorrow night, because I am hoping to post a Safina game or two if I have the time. And I'm also busy working on my reviews of the player cards in the Unspeakable Oath, so I have to have those up as well, coming up probably sometime this coming week. So that's going to do it for me today. If you enjoyed this stream, please leave me a thumbs up. It helps out the channel a great deal. Make sure you I lost my train of thought here. I haven't done this live in a while. Make sure you leave a comment down below if you enjoyed this playthrough. I always enjoy chatting with you. It's been great to talk to you guys who tuned in on the live chat today. Thank you very much. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to be notified of when I release future content. If you want to contact me, I can be reached at manfromleng@gmail.com. I'm also on Twitter at manfromleng. Until the stars are right, keep your shotgun close and your elder sign closer. Take care out there, and happy investigating. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.